United Artists Channel 63 presents the United Artists Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
From Lk Orion High School, it's the Lk Orion Dragons taking on the DeLaSalle Pilots. Good evening, everyone. Dave Zorn along with Bob Griglak to bring you the second game of this exciting season, and a pretty good matchup, too, as the Lk Orion Dragons come in 0-1, the DeLaSalle Pilots come in 1-0, but a pretty tough game they played last year here. They have two different types of offenses. The Pilots can pass the ball. They throw very well. On the other side, the Dragons like to run the ball, but they can also pass too.
Well, the Dragons do like to pass. They threw 4 interceptions last week, so that might stop them from doing it this week. I don't know, as we have to see. On the defensive side of the ball, you're going to see Lk Orion running an 8-man front at times, so that could make it a little different for DeLaSalle's blocking schemes.
Yeah, a lot of teams have had difficulty running against that type of defense because they're not sure who they're going to block.
Very true, very true. It should be an interesting game.
Okay, that's the story coming up. The DeLaSalle Pilots taking on the Lk Orion Dragons from Lk Orion High School. We'll be back with the kickoff right after these messages.
Television's best sports team is now the first word in sports. Nick and Fred are now at 11 p.m. Eastern. The first word in comprehensive coverage of the day's sports action. In-depth analysis, behind-the-scenes interviews, plus the global coverage that only CNN's worldwide network can provide. CNN Sports Tonight, the first word in sports. Now, a half hour earlier, 11 p.m. Eastern on CNN.
The game of the week here at Lk Orion High School. Dave Zorn along with Bob Griglak back here for the second half action. And the DeLaSalle Pilots striking quickly before the end of the first half. And I'll tell you what, knowing Ross McDonald when I played for him at Fraser, we never really had quarterbacks that could throw like this. And he has got to be real happy. And let's take a look at the statistics here. And to get 105 yards passing was quite an accomplishment back in those days. At Fraser. He has had quarterbacks that can pass now here at DeLaSalle, and that is a pretty good stat, as you can see, going up against the Dragons with only 13 yards. And the Dragons with 82 yards rushing as opposed to DeLaSalle's 47. The total yards, as you can see, is a little towards the favor of DeLaSalle. And you can see the turnovers, 1 for DeLaSalle, and that was a costly one, too. In the first quarter as they were driving and almost got in the end zone, and the pretty good march it was. Cost them dearly as they could be up right now, but the Dragons held tough, good penetration, and forced the fumble. Time of possession, as you can see, does not necessarily go with total offense. As you can see, 13-30, Bob, for Lk Orion, and 152 total offense for DeLaSalle. So those two don't necessarily have to be the same.
Well, the rushing yards tell the story there. Lk Orion has 82 yards. Keeping the ball on the ground, obviously you'll take more time off the clock, and that's where that comes into play. Lk Orion's leading rusher was number 26. Mr. White, he had 13 carries for 59 yards. And for DeLaSalle, number 21, Jim Cunningham, had 7 carries for 36 yards. There's again tells you that they ran about twice as much to their top back. That's why they took a little more time off the clock. Might open it up a little bit here in the second half. It's hard to say. It's a close game, so neither team probably won't want to come out firing the ball. Mistakes could hurt you here in this type of game.
Yeah, the missed extra point by DeLaSalle definitely hurts in this type of game.
Well, I think they surprised themselves by scoring, and they weren't ready for that. I really do.
Yeah, they're
I think that's half the problem. Because they didn't look very organized.
Yeah, they surprised everybody.
Except for me.
By throwing, well, but I'll tell you what, by first thing, throwing it right down the middle of the field where you think everybody would be, but instead the defenders were out towards the sidelines where usually you would find
Well, that's where they threw the 2 deep passes before that. And maybe that was the game plan by the coaches. It's hard to say, but if it was a great one.
Well, what they did is they sent the receivers down the sideline and brought the back through the backfield and brought him in. They have a bread and butter play, a 68 option pass that I used to run with Ross McDonald's offense. And watch for that play where the slot man will come across the side of the field and be one of the key receivers. Although they do use the back more often than the slot man, more than the tight end, which is what they used to use. The kick taken by the Dragons at about the 10-yard line and almost busting it for big yardage. Getting out to about the 30 is number 26, and a good return for John White.
Tackle was made by Cunningham. He's all over the field.
Jim Cunningham on the tackle, and White on the return, a big 20-yard return.
Nice catch, just
John
takes
White.
The ball straight up the middle.
And almost breaks it open there. 1st and 10, ball at the 30. Robertson on a straight dive and a handoff to White, number 26.
Looks like he kind of tripped on that play, didn't really get his feet going. His body was in front of his feet and kind of fell forward for a couple yards.
There you see Ross McDonald, Mario Baracci, his line coach, talking to him. Offensive and defensive line coach. Mario Baracci talking to head coach Ross McDonald. Here we see quarterback Mason Robertson. His team up 7-6. A cross play down the middle of the field, and this one didn't get much yardage at all for him. They tried to cross block.
The old cross buck?
Yep.
Good play most of the time. Just has momentum going one way, and the running back comes back the other. Standard play for most high schools, most colleges.
Make one back going one way, and the other back gets it, and that time did not do much for him right up the middle.
Because it happens so quickly, the defensive players don't have time to react, so it really doesn't throw them off too much. It really depends on the blocking schemes.
So 3rd down and about 4 coming up now for the Dragons. Pro set, handoff to the fullback. Fry gained a couple of yards, so it'll be 4th and short yardage, and it looks like a punting down for the Dragons.
I'll tell you what, that was a big defensive series for DeLaSalle. I'll tell you why. They got the momentum back at the end of the first half, and they had it coming into this second half. By stopping him at this point and getting good field position, if they go in for the score, it could really turn this game around.
That's Chad Mikan to punt, and the Pilots will get the ball back with pretty good field position. If they don't get a good bounce here, the Dragons don't. Dragons in a high kick, and it's short. Hits at about the 47, and a big hop for the Pilots. So a big stop there by number 76.
Well, that putt's going to net about 9 yards. I'll tell you what, that's something you don't want to look for.
Yeah, if Todd Hubbard didn't stop it with his hand by batting it down, it would have probably crossed midfield.
I'll tell you what could have happened, though. It could have hit one of Lk Orion's players. What would have happened then?
Yeah, free ball.
Yeah.
1st and 10, ball at the 49-yard line of the Dragons. A big run for Cunningham on a 1st down carry of about 8 yards.
Quick pitch, he just looked for his hole and shot it right up there. He showed some pretty good grit and determination driving those legs for an extra few yards.
Yeah, the ball did cross midfield. It would have crossed the 45 had
Here's
they
the
not
pitch
batted
here.
it
He
down.
just looks for his hole. He slips back, and right now he's looking for the hole, sees it, and shoots right up. Now watch his legs move right here. There he goes. Boom, an extra few yards. Nice run.
Good cut back by Cunningham to see the hole there and gain about 7 yards. 2nd and 3, and he's sacked for a loss. A big defensive play for Lk Orion.
Outside linebacker shot straight in there and made a nice tackle, just threw him right on the ground.
Here we see head coach Mike Berry.
Shot number 48 shoots the gap right here, comes right through. There he is. Just takes him and throws him right on the ground. He outweighs him by about 40 pounds. It probably had something to do with it.
Third down, about 7. Hideki to pass. Well behind the line of scrimmage, and he's got a 1st down down the sidelines. Inside the 30-yard line down to about the 25.
And no flags. Key to that play when there's no flags. Anytime you have a screen like that where it's so slow developing, you either get linemen down the field too quickly or you get a clip. Now watch this play develop. It's real slow. They'll go back. He looks for his receiver. There he is. And look at him having the ball. Look at this, right in front of him. Nice block right there. He got in front of him and is able to take the ball up the sideline for a nice gain. First down.
Chuck Ferris on the reception, on the screen, and a big gain. Here's one out.
Oh, fumble.
Ball is loose. Let's see where they mark it. It's going to be first down, Dragons.
Oh, my Lord. What a bad play. I can't tell you.
Matt Waldis had it and dropped it on the hit.
He was just going down. He wanted to stay down. He slipped, and he was going down.
He had the first down
with it. Oh, man, I'll tell you, that was a bad break.
Looked like he had the first down.
He sure did.
There it is. Waldis has it.
It looks like he slipped.
Oh.
No, he dropped the ball before.
He wanted to run with it.
Yep.
He took off before he really got a good handle on it.
Oh, that was a bad break right there. They're driving.
And a big break for the Dragons. That's two big drives that have stalled for the Pilots. The first down carry for the Dragons. Not much there. As you see the big lineman get up there for the Dragons, number 62. Schlick.
Well, they're keeping the ball on the ground as they did in the first half. Try not to make any mistakes. They've got the lead, so I guess they can do that.
Second down, very slim lead. 7 minutes and 15 seconds counting down here in the third quarter. Second down, about 7. Robertson on the handoff up the middle. And again, they're trying that reverse in the cross with the backs crossing in the backfield, and that one didn't work.
Here's the fake right there, coming back up, and linebacker makes the tackle.
Third down, about 4 coming up now. So the running offense of Lake Orion has to come up with a big play right here on a third and about 4, so watch for a possible pass. Now, Bob mentioned they had 4 interceptions last week, so a little hesitant on the throwing arm of Robertson this early in the season, but they're going to go to the air anyway. Good pressure put on by the Pilots. They've got him inside the 10-yard line. Finally scrambling loose. Robertson sees a man open, and it's intercepted at the 47-yard line by the Pilots. And into Dragon territory. A big reception by Jim Kerr, the junior, the defensive back. And we talked to Ross McDonald before the game. He talked about Jim Kerr. He's a junior, but he's got great ability back there. Here's Robertson getting pressure, Bob.
He's making a nice run right here. He got out of a lot of pressure, and he just couldn't throw the ball far enough. That's the problem. His receiver is open deep, but he just couldn't get the ball far enough. So we had a clip on that play coming back.
A big penalty on the Pilots as they had great field position into Dragon territory, and now that knocks them back to about their own 38.
Well, as it comes out in the wash, it looks like it was just a good punt. Basically what happened was they gave up field position, but not in that bad a shape.
Six minutes and 10 seconds left as the Pilots start a drive, and it doesn't start very well.
Blocking schemes broke down that time. They had 8 men on the line. They shot everybody, and basically everybody got him.
Cunningham had nowhere to go that time as the walls came in around him, and it'll be a second down, about 14 coming up.
That was a team tackle, Dave. Grabbed a hold of his shirt, no tear away that time.
And the defense fired up for the Dragons. They want a big stop here. They stopped him on a fumble 2 times so far now. Deep in their own territory. To pass. And out of bounds. Intended out there, who wants to redeem himself, is Matt Waldis. But Teodecki just couldn't get it to him.
Well, he was out of bounds trying to make the catch, so whether he caught the ball or not, he was out of bounds.
Next week, it'll be Kimball against Southfield. Saturday and Monday nights at 7 p.m., the game of the week. Royal Oak Kimball against Southfield. Pretty good matchup.
I'm looking forward to that game. We did that a couple years ago together, and I really enjoyed it. It was a close game, so hopefully it'll work out the same way.
Good to do a Saturday afternoon game every now and then. Hopefully there'll be sunshine to cooperate for us. Third down, about 14. Teodecki to pass. Intended out there for Cunningham, but guarded well, throwing into double coverage, actually. as the linebacker and then the defensive back stepping up. Good coverage out there on Cunningham was number 21, Kowalik, and I believe number 38, Anthony Hill. .5:25 left in the third quarter, and the defenses have held strong as it's another punting down for the Pilots. Taking his time with it was Ferris and almost getting it blocked.
Nice punt.
Ball inside, and now taking it is number 21, Kowalik outside. He's got some room and decides to cut back.
He didn't have a choice. I'll tell you why, Dave. That ball hit the helmet of one of his players on his team.
Yeah.
And bounced right in his hand. What a break. Because it otherwise would have been DeLaSalle's ball.
And now some shoving going on the far side of the field.
Oh, that was a wild play. You don't see that happen.
It took
too
off.
often.
It hits a helmet here. Let's take a look.
Right there. Hits him in the helmet. Boom. Right back to him. And it gets the ball outside and makes a nice run out of it. But I'll tell you, anything could have happened that time. If DeLaSalle would have got it, it would have been a touchdown.
Nothing but speed helped him on that. Getting away from a couple tacklers and now cutting back and gains another almost 10 yards on the
That would be a
cutback.
nice move right there.
So penalties, though, will hurt him. It'll bring it all the way back
Oh, man.
inside the 20-yard line to about the 14-yard line.
Maybe that's what sprung him for that big game. You never know. Tell you what, both offensive lines have not come out firing this half. Where the first half you saw the offensive line pushing them back 4 or 5 yards, it's not happening. DeLaSalle has had 3 rushes for no yards, and Lake Orion 5 rushes for 13 here in the second half.
5 minutes, 7 seconds left in the third quarter. First down for the Dragons, spinning and turning, and a pretty good gain, as it turns out, for James Fry. The senior, 6 feet, 200 pounds. The big fullback had a big gain in that first half that sparked a big drive for the Dragons.
Well, that's the biggest gain of the half so far, and it puts them in a position here on second and about long 3, to do whatever they want to do. Now is the time you might want to open up that offense. Maybe throw a little flare pass, throw a little screen pass, or draw play, something to get that offense or defensive line off of the people on the line.
Second and short yardage, about, a long 3. Second and 3 coming up. The tailback, White on the carry. And he's close to a first down.
The quarterback now is taking the ball back to the running back and allowing him to see the line better.
They'll be short of the first down. Don't forget to tune in for Oakland Press Perspective with Neil Monroe, Fridays at 8:30, right here on United Artists 63. We'll keep you informed on things going on in and around Oakland County. Third and short yardage coming up now. Third and about 1 for the Dragons. Big play right here. This can make it or break it for their drive. And they stop them. The Pilots stop them behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, I'll tell you the problem right there is they're expecting that dive play, that run right up the middle. DeLaSalle is plugging in the gaps and making the tackles. They need to get a little more innovative in their offense in order to throw DeLaSalle off a little bit, because they're expecting the run, they're getting it, and they're stopping them.
So 4th and 1 now, and both defenses, Bob, have risen to the occasion.
Absolutely.
Here's Mikan to punt again. Good punt again by Mikan. Fielded inside the 45 at the 44, and going out of bounds is Matt Waldus.
In unfriendly territory.
Yeah, you don't like to run into the other team's bench. And see a sea of green.
I've seen a few players over the years run them right into the bench, literally.
Yeah. Here's Mikan to punt.
It's a little
Chad Mikan, bad snap, but
little hang time this time, though.
he gets a good boot.
Gets it deep. Takes the ball right up the sideline, and boom, right into the sea of green. Almost into the coach.
Yeah, almost right into Mike Berry. Ball in Dragon territory, right about the 49. So the Pilots with great field position to start this drive. Flags flying all over the field as Teodecki will take it himself, but this will be brought back. Illegal procedure on the Pilots.
A lot of penalties here in the second half. I don't know if it's fatigue or the referees just want to earn their money. No comment on that, huh, Dave?
What's that? Excuse me, I'm watching them mark it off there. Here we have the score in the third quarter with 2:59 left in the third quarter. Lake Orion 7, DeLaSalle 6. DeLaSalle getting those 6 points with 0 left on the clock to end the first half. On a lightning quick pass down the middle of the field to Cunningham. First down and 15 now. Hideki finds himself in trouble and a screen pass to Cunningham. Cunningham surrounded now and doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, he wasn't the first option. He was looking to the left.
Yeah.
And was looking for a flare out, but the back was covered out of the backfield there. Cunningham was the second. Here we go. He's looking to the left. You can see right here, he's looking for the tight end or the back right out of there he is. Number 26, he's looking for him, but he's covered. Cunningham's the second receiver. Throw the ball to him. Probably got back to the line of scrimmage only because of his good running ability. Maybe lost a couple there.
Yeah, lost a couple. It'll be 2nd and 17 now. I formation in the backfield. 2 receivers up top. Hideki fakes and now goes deep. He's got his man. Oh, just out of the outstretched hands there. Out of the reach. Down there of number 17. And that is Sean Hale.
If you could see what I just saw, he was wide open. He just slowed down and didn't run his pattern. And that'll hurt a quarterback more than anything in the world, is when you stop your pattern and slow down. The quarterback's looking for you to run at a certain speed, and he threw the ball out to exactly where he had to.
You see head coach Ross McDonald there in the middle of the screen next to Mario Baracci, his line coach.
They've had good field position the whole half. They just haven't capitalized on it.
3rd and long now. Again, same formation. They're going to try it again. Hideki unloads and Waldis tries to get the first down, reaches out and fumbles the ball. Let's see what they call it.
They're going to call him down. The ground can't cause a fumble. Good call.
And that's where they call it. So let's see if they go for it. It'll be 4th and inches.
Well, this will be a good time. Now you can watch right here. He gets the time to throw. He just gets the ball off just before he gets hit. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. There you go. 58 comes in just to hit him before he gets over the middle, gets it over the linebackers. And let's see, the ground caused the fumble here. He'll stretch out and try to get the first down. No, it didn't cause the fumble. That was a fumble.
Looked like he kind of threw it.
That was a fumble. Holy cow. Magic of instant replay.
They don't use it here. Mike Barry says, geez, I wish we could have an instant replay right now.
Yeah, his knee might have been down, too.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah, his knee might have been down. That's a good point, Bob. But we can't make those calls.
No, sir. I don't get paid for
We
that.
try on certain occasions, but we can't. 4th and inches, and the Pilots are going for it. Ball just inside the 40-yard line of the Dragons. The handoff to Cunningham, who has a first down and much more.
And no flags.
Spinning and turning inside the 30-yard line to the 29.
I had to say that because of the way things have been going, but that was a good run. Here we go. We'll see it this time. It's a straight dive play. Hands him the ball. Picks his hole. Got a lot of room there. Looks like there might have been some holding in that line, but what they don't see is not going to hurt them.
It hurts the Dragons, though, and the Dragons now have to make another defensive stand. Ball just inside the 30-yard line at the 29.
They need to hold on to the ball here. No more fumbles.
1st and 10. I formation in the backfield. The draw, fumble, and there it is, right in the hands of the Dragons. Well, we saw it before. Hideki just didn't get it in. I don't think he got it in the stomach of Cunningham.
No, it was just a bad handoff. I didn't want to say that. I'm sorry.
Communication problem there between Cunningham and Hideki again.
The 3rd time that's happened today, Dave. I tell you, that's going to kill him.
The 3rd fumble.
Let's see if it's the handoff. The quarterback, does he get the ball in the running back's belly?
Right there. He put it right in there.
The running back was running before he had the ball. That's our 3rd turnover today, and all 3 of them have stopped drives.
Got to cover up that ball, guys. And now the Dragons come up big again. The 3rd fumble for DeLaSalle. And Mike Perry was sweating bullets early on. Seconds just winding down here in the 3rd quarter. 22 seconds left as we see the Lake Orion cheerleaders with something to cheer about. 3 drives, and pretty good drives by the Pilots, have stalled on fumbles.
They were stalled. They were shut down.
They have done a job defensively. Robertson with a little screen out to White. White Picks up a good chunk of yardage.
That's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to spread that defense out a little bit. They were getting too predictable, running the ball up the middle. Good call. That's it for the third quarter.
That'll end the third quarter here at Lake Orion High School, and Mike Berry sweating a little bit on some of those drives by DeLaSalle, but hey, when 3 strong drives end up with 3 fumbles, Mike Berry says, hey, we've got to put some points on the board and get a bigger lead. Next week, it'll be Kimball against Southfield. The Oaks, it'll be the Kimball Knights against the Southfield Blue Jays at Southfield. Saturday and Monday, right here on United Artists Cable. There you see Mike Berry talking to his offensive starters.
This is a big drive for them. They need to take some time off the clock. If they can go in for a score and put 2 points up on the extra point, that might put it out of reach. It'll take 2 scores in that way for DeLaSalle to win the game.
First thing is they got to get in the end zone.
Well, that's true.
Then there comes that big decision, like you said. No, like you said, that big decision. Do you go for 2?
Absolutely, and it makes a big difference.
You're at your home field. Do you want to put 2 in there?
Well, the last play that they had was what they need to do. They threw a little screen pass, and he was wide open. It was a nice touch pass. They need to open up that offense a little bit because right now, and they have been too predictable the whole half.
I'll tell you, if they do get in the end zone, I'll tell you what, Mike Berry has got to feel that they're going to go for 2 because he's got to feel the pace that the offense is going. Don't forget to tune in for the Road Show video every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9 p.m. A great program coming up from Cedar Point. And the guys head out there and give you some last bit of summer fun. Right now, some more fun. 3rd and 3 for the Dragons. They've got to come through right here. We're talking about them getting in the end zone. Well, they've got to get the first down right here. The pitch goes back to White. White hit in the backfield and gets a big loss. And again, the defenses on the 3rd down have been winning consistently.
Well, they expected a run. That's what they got. And linebackers came up and cornerbacks came up and just held them to no gain a little. Matter of fact, they lost a couple yards.
They lost about 4 yards, actually.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you. DeLaSalle showed me something on defense this half, though. They've played real strong.
The punt, Mikan. We've seen a lot of the punters tonight. Takes his time, no rush. Ball taken at about the 31 by Waldus. Waldus cutting upfield, has a nice return inside the 46, or just outside the 45, I should say, to the 46. So good field position again for the Pilots, and it's hurt them.
Their field position for the last 4 drives have been the Lake Orion 49, their own 38, Lake Orion 49, and now they're on the 46-yard line.
47.
I'll tell you what, if they don't score, they're going to have some hard practices this week.
They're going to have some real tough practices. And there's the guy who's going to give it to him, Ross McDonald, saying, we got to cash in here on these great field position chances. Outside, off tackle, and a big run for Cunningham. Has the first down and more as he breaks in to Dragon territory, out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. The 39 looks like.
One of the receivers sealed a block here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in your screen. Here's when he takes the ball outside. I think you can see number 80. I don't know if you can see him in your screen. He'll come in and seal a block right there. Boom. That's what gave him an extra 15 yards, as he's able to turn the corner and get away from the pursuit.
Ball inside the 40 at the 39, and that's where the Pilots have the first down. Now the Dragons have benefited from 3 fumbles on the Pilot side. Let's see if they can actually stop them here without any help of a fumble, because that has been a key thing. The Dragons have not stopped them solidly. It's been fumbles.
But the fumbles, are not typical fumbles. The fumbles that they've had, a lot of them have been just by handoffs.
And you see Mike Berry now starting to pace the sideline. Wants a big defensive stand right here with 10:20 left in the game, because he can sense the Pilots coming back now, and he's not quite sure if a fumble will help him this time. Cunningham outside, trying to break it, but just can't, and good pursuit defensively. It'll be 3rd down and long for the Pilots. So here comes that defensive stand that we're talking about.
Big
They
third
need to
down
do
play, yeah, no doubt about it. And you're going to see them probably put a lot of pressure on the quarterback if he does go back to throw, because that's when he's been vulnerable, back in passing situations. If you're going to pass, try to pass early or throw him off beat a little bit so you don't get that pressure. He's not as good under pressure as he is when he stands back in the pocket and he has the time. Nobody is.
Third down and about 6 for the Pilots. Dragons defense needs to stand tall here. Tiedecki passing. And good coverage down there. Intended. Down there, down the sidelines.
Just takes a few steps back here and then lets the ball up and tries to let him run under it.
Yeah, Sean Hale, it looks like the intended receiver.
Well covered, though, by Lk Orion, number 22, Todd Ho, whose dad won the autographed football at halftime.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I was excited for him.
So even if he didn't catch that one, he's got a football.
He's got one to take home. He's got a souvenir.
That's it, if Dad gives it to him. Timeout down on the field on a big fourth down play right here coming up.
This could be a big decision right here because right now, even if they go for it and don't get it, they're still going to give them, well, halfway decent field position. If they get it, it could make the big difference in the game. There's 9 minutes, 28 seconds left in the game. A score here is going to make a difference, obviously. But fourth down, if they get a first down here, it's going to take a lot of wind out of Lk Orion sails if they get it. If they don't get it, it's not going to hurt them because typically you'll put the ball in the end zone at this point.
Yeah, Mike Berry and his coaching staff.
That's like a 15-yard difference.
Yeah. So let's see what happens here, Bob. This could be the, as of right now, the turning point of the game. With 9:28 left. DeLaSalle coming so close so many times to putting a nice drive together and paying the price with 3 fumbles that have ended up costing them a lot of points on the board. They trail 7-6, and the Dragons, as you see, that defense has held tough. As you can see, a couple of words exchanged there between Ryan Young.
They look pumped up.
And John White. They are pumped up.
They know it's a big play.
4th and 6 for the Pilots. Checking in is Cunningham, and he's asking what the play is. Where was he? I formation in the backfield. 1 receiver and a delay of game. Looks like they were trying to draw him off sides to possibly get a 4th and short, but they just couldn't do it, so now the punting team comes in.
Well, they didn't disguise it very well.
No. You could tell the team just didn't look like they were fired up to run a play, so they tried it. It was worth a try and didn't hurt anything.
I think
So
Cunningham
now it actually gives them more room for a punt here.
Cunningham gave him away a little bit on that one. Well, of course, that could have made a big difference, too.
Yeah, Ferris to punt. Bad snap as it hits the ground. He gets off a good one, though. Good one in this field position. And the ball inside the 10, fielded. And I guess, what do? Do you let it go and take a chance?
Let that go.
Inside the 10, you do. It was headed into the end zone. And the Dragons now, with poor field position, that's got to help the Pilots. You know, they probably have a chance to get the ball back, too, if they stop them.
The ball at a low trajectory, the odds of them stopping the ball before it got in the end zone are slim to none. Now watch the ball bounce. It'll stay low here. Right? Well, maybe not. It might have been a good call.
Because it might have gone inside the 10. It looked like it was angling.
It looked like it took a big hop right at the end and it was coming down and they were barreling down on it. I don't know. It's hard to say, but you got to play it from where you're at.
Yeah, real tough. Ball just shy of the 10-yard line. 1st and 10 from there. Dragons, long way to go. But a nice run here by the fullback, giving him some breathing room. James Fry, who has done it consistently tonight with some big runs for the Dragons, picks up the first down outside the 20-yard line. So now some breathing room for the Dragons and well-needed room to work with for the quarterback Robertson. Mason Robertson now has a little bit of room and he can run around and maybe even try to pass to get out of there. But they have been so consistent on the run, as you see Mike Berry with the headset on.
That was the biggest run of the half and almost gave him twice as many yards.
1st and 10 at the 20. Robertson on the handoff. Bouncing inside through the middle. They're trying the cross blocks right up the middle.
They've got 10 rushes this half for about 33 yards. 3.3 yards per carry.
Fry on the carry. A timeout down on the field as a player is injured on the Pilots. DeLaSalle 6, Lake Orion 7. That's your score. And we have not seen any scoring since that second quarter, really since right before the half when Teodecki connected with Cunningham for 57 yards right before the half with time running out. Oakland Press Perspective gives you a great look at things going on in and around Oakland County with Neil Monroe, the Oakland Press editor. That's Fridays at 8:30 p.m. right here on United Artists 63. Heading off is number 41, the injured Pilot. And that was Rob Projenki, 5'10", 185
Looks like he's okay.
Linebacker.
Got to come off for one play, though, anytime you stop the play.
Yep. Second down now and about 9. 8:15. Counting down in the game. I formation in the backfield. Both receivers split. And on the carry is number 26, White. It'll bring up a third down.
Again, they're back to their game plan, just running the ball straight over tackle. And again, the same result, about 2 yards.
Well, you've got to have confidence now in your defense if you're the Dragons, because they have stopped the Pilots so many times on key plays.
Yeah, I think the Pilots stopped themselves on a lot of
Yeah, they
plays.
did, but that one showed a lot when they stopped them there. So let's see. Looks like are they going to give the ball back or no? Third down and long. Let's see if the Dragons are ready to give the ball up or not. 7:32 left. Robertson, a blitz, and they call it to the other side. He's short of the first down. It'll be fourth, and I'll say about a couple of yards to go. Let's see where they mark it. Fourth and about 2.
Looks like the Pilots going to get good field position for about the 5th straight time this half.
Yeah, it's a punting down now, and the Pilots get it back again.
Well, Dave, you've been in the locker room with the coaches over there. What are they telling them on the sideline here?
Well, they make a lot of adjustments at halftime. They really do. In fact, we were a better second half team under Ross McDonald because we made a lot of adjustments. Now, it looks like the adjustments that they've made, they have done very well on their drives, and like we had talked about, it's just been fumbles that have cost them. So let's see what they can do offensively, the Pilots, when they get the ball this time. Don't forget, next week it'll be Kimball at Southfield for the game of the week right here on United Artists. It'll be Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. So if you can't catch it on Saturday, if you're out partying, having a good time, catch it on Monday night right before Monday Night Football. It'll overlap a little, but hey, you don't want to see the early stuff going on.
Depends how the game's going. You might want to watch the end of this one.
That's right. There you see the band. They trying to get the war chant going here for the Dragons.
Get some prime seats here in the stadium. Looks like we get a nice crowd, maybe upwards of close to 1,000 people.
Nice crowd. Nice, still a warm night.
Yeah.
I can imagine things get a little cooler up here than the other stadiums we're used to at the end of fall with the wind blowing off. Mike in the punt. The pressure put on this time. Mike trying to act a little bit like he was hit as he fell, but no flag. And good field position again for the Pilots.
It's going to be about the 48
Sounds like a broken record,
but
they're going to get great field position right at midfield. Got to be able to cash in here. They're down by 1.76. The Dragons have held. And Mike Berry is wondering how long is this going to last? How long can we hold them?
Well, on first down might be the time to throw. Give him some time. Let's see if he can hit that pass over the middle like he did at the end of the first half.
Two receivers split to the bottom of the screen. The handoff to Cunningham. Off tackle, breaks it outside. Has one man to beat out there. And now it's a foot race. And Cunningham wins it.
Yeah, he did. I thought he might have stepped
The referee
out.
was right down the sidelines and did not see him go out of bounds. Cunningham, Jim Cunningham, on a big run, a 51-yard touchdown run. No flags. And DeLaSalle goes up
Well, here it is.
12-7.
He's going to take the ball up the middle, sees no hole. Now he's going to break the ball to the outside. And here's where his speed comes into play. He runs around 3 people here. 1, 2, 3. There's a third person. Let's take a look if we get a look on the sideline to see if he did step out. Here we go. He's going to run down the sideline. Now watch his foot. It might step on the line. Maybe not. Touchdown. Doesn't matter. The ref calls it a TD. 6 points.
So we had to wait till the fourth quarter before another score, and now they're going for 2. Biedecki to pass. He had some room to run. He's going to do it, and he gets in for 2. Steve Biedecki in for 2 points, and a big 2 points, Bob.
That's a huge 2 points because this way they're in the ball game whether or not Lake Orion gets a touchdown and goes for the 2 or goes for the tie. Either way, they've got to score twice to win the game. Here's the play, looks for a receiver. It wasn't designed as a run. He was looking for his receiver here. Wasn't open, just cut the ball back up, made a nice run out of it for the 2 points. Big play.
So Biedecki and Cunningham figure in all the scoring for the Pilots.
Cunningham now has 116 yards and 15 carries. Good days turning in for him.
Another big day for Cunningham as he had 127 yards last week. So watch for this guy for some big stats at the end of the season from Jim Cunningham. Now the Dragons, who held for so long on all those drives by the Pilots, have got to come up with some offense of their own. They can't sit on the ball anymore. There's your score, 14-7. DeLaSalle comes up with a big 2-point conversion as they miss the extra point on the first touchdown and make up for it there. Now the Dragons, who haven't done much offensively since really the first half, have got to come up big. The kick. Taken. And about the 12-yard line. And out to about the 30. We'll see where they mark it. They'll mark it short of the 30. A nice run back down there by Kowalik.
Well, let's see if they change their offensive strategy here now that they're trailing. It might make a difference on whether or not they're going to use more passing plays to open up this offense. So far, they've got 109 yards total offense for the game, where DeLaSalle has 280, almost triple what they have. Big difference.
And it's starting to show. Robertson back to pass on a first down, something they really haven't done. Now he's going to run. Ooh, and just when he decided to run, kind of held up, he felt pressure coming in and decided to go down with it. And a flag down on the field.
Well, that's typically a holding or a clipping call, depending on where the flag was thrown.
Yeah, when things like that break down, usually it's a holding call. When it's intentionally a pass.
Blocking below the knees.
There it is. There's the call.
That's a cutback block usually, and that's been outlawed. It was outlawed about 10 years ago.
Here's Robertson on a pass, and they haven't really passed on a first down.
Well, I don't know if you can see the cutback block here. You really can't see it from this angle, but it was there. The ref saw it, and that makes a big difference because it took away a nice game.
And trying to cut back, Robertson slipped. And Bob mentioned that we would get some dew on the field and would get a little slippery. And with one knee already bad on Robertson, the other one went out from under him, so he slipped and fell. Could have gotten a few more yards out of it. But anyway, the penalty brings him back another 10. So it'll be first and what are they calling
25.
it? 23 they're calling it. Should actually have 23. Trap up the middle, nothing there as the Pilots stop it.
This is the time when the defense excels. They pretty much know what's coming, a draw play or a screen pass. They can either take off at the quarterback and just fill those holes. I used to love playing when we had those.
There you see the drums, Bob. Can you feel those drums right now? The whole stand. The stands are metal stands here, and the whole stands are just vibrating.
Something's vibrating
That's
here.
Right. There
Hey,
you
I don't know
see
if you
us.
can see us. We're kind of waving. See us up in the right-hand corner there.
Up in the corner of your screen.
There you go.
That's where we are. But you've got the best view right at home. Second down and long. Robertson rolling out, feeling pressure. He's got to unload, and does into double coverage intended for Micah.
He was open and went right through his hands, but I'll tell you what, that's a tough pass to throw on the run like that. He made a nice play out of it. Again, the defense is just teeing off. They're sending everybody at him, and you can see it right here. He goes back to pass, and let's see how many people he's got in his face. He's got his 2 backs back there blocking for him. They don't do a very good job because here comes 3 guys right at him, barreling down, and he makes a nice play in his hands. Yes, and out.
5 minutes left in the game.
It's a little easier throwing it on the run to your right when you're right-handed.
Yeah. You talk about senior leadership. This is when the Dragons need it, and a lot of it left last year with some of the key players gone. But they've got 10 players back, both offensively and defensively, starters that played last year.
You might have saw a little different defensive alignment that time. I think the safety came up and looked like he was going to blitz, and it was a good call to call timeout because if they were running the play that way, he could have been sacked in for another big loss.
Let's take a look. Mike Berry down on the field, making some adjustments now. On the other side, Ross McDonald talking to Mario Baracci. You can see Mario there.
He's got something serious.
Very
to tell
colorful
him.
guy, Mario Baracci. You can see him, he's animated there. Telling him what he's got to do. Well, they've got the lead, 14-7 right now over the Dragons. Mike Berry has got a hole right now he's got to dig out of. He sat on a 7-6 lead for most of the second half, and he's got to get his offense going in a big way right now in a 3rd and 21 situation.
This is a tough call right here. You really don't know what to do. You know the defense is looking for the pass, but you got to make sure you don't get sacked and put yourself in a worse position for field position.
The band trying to get this this crowd fired up, trying to get the team fired up right now. And let's see what the Dragons can come up with here. 3rd and 21, exactly 5 minutes left in the game. Pro formation for Robertson. Robertson shows pass, but it goes draw. And slipping is White. Had he broken it outside, he may have been able to get a good chunk of yardage back, but not all of it.
That's a good safe call that time. A draw or screen is usually a safe call when you got the rushers coming on you so hard. A lot of times they'll overrun the play, and that's what they were depending on.
Liking to kick. And he punts it away. Goes out of bounds in front of the 50. Let's see where they mark it. It's still in Dragon territory, and bad news for the Dragons as the ball is marked at the 45-yard line.
6 straight times they've had the ball in excellent field position. I'll tell you what, eventually your defense is going to break down.
Let's see what the defense does now. Do they rise up to the occasion and stop the Pilots? Or do they break in, cave in? There's the score, 14-7. DeLaSalle and the Pilots have had great field position for most of the game, middle of the field, starting their drives there. But the Dragons have been fortunate. The score is only 14-7. Let's take a look. Gain of about 2 or 3 as the Dragons wrap up Cunningham on that first down carry.
Well, their offensive line is starting to push out a little bit. Their adrenaline's pumping. They feel victory close at hand. They know if they can keep the ball on the ground on this drive and run time off the clock, there's just about 4 minutes left in this game. Get a couple first downs, there's going to be no time for Lk Orion to come back and win.
Exactly. Watch, as Bob said, the ground game now to be a key factor in Cunningham to keep running the ball. 2 receivers split down at the bottom of the screen. And they hand off again to Cunningham, off tackle. And another run for Cunningham increases his yards. He's already over 100. Timeout called by the Dragons as they need to regroup here on a 3rd down and about 5 coming up for the Pilots. So a big stop right here could help the Dragons.
Well, I think it was a good timeout for 2 reasons. The first reason being they need to regroup at this point and tell themselves, well, what if they go for it on 4th down, which is a strong possibility. They're going to try to run the clock out at this point, and they know it. If they get close on 4th down, they might go for it, and they want to be ready for it. The second reason they wanted to call a timeout is this is the biggest play of the game. They need to stop him.
They need to stop him. And before we stop here, Roadshow Video makes a stop at Cedar Point. And don't forget to catch that every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday right here on United Artist 63.
Are they going to take shots from the roller coaster? That's
No, they
my
didn't
favorite.
invite us.
I can't believe that.
They got shots from the roller
Do they?
coaster. Yeah, they got all
man.
sorts of stuff.
I like roller coasters.
And, well, watch a show.
They got a new one out there, don't they? A big wooden one?
I think so. There you see some of the fans here enthralled in the action. 14-7 the score. 3:39 left, and a big play coming up. So you can tell the fans on this side, the Dragon fans, really want to see a big defensive stand right here.
Hard to tell what's going to happen here. Hard to tell what's going to happen.
It's the loudest it's been on the sideline here for the Dragons. Biedecki, pressure, breaks out, no, he's down back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and about 10 coming up.
Goes back for the pass. Looks like he's looking for a little flare pass, and the defense broke down. The offensive lineman just didn't hold their blocks long enough and is able to sack him before he can look for a receiver.
Getting in there first was Fred Reb, excuse me. Back to punt, number 33, Chuck Ferris. Penalty flag. Down on the field, too much time on DeLaSalle. That's okay. They're trying to kill the clock, aren't they? Or does
yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point. 5 yards is going to make a difference on the punt. As a matter of fact, the extra 5 yards is probably worth the 15 or 20 extra seconds they took off the clock.
And it stops the clock with 2:58, and there's your score. DeLaSalle 14, Lake Orion 7. It has been a defensive struggle. Back and forth. The pressure is going to be put on. There's nobody back, by the way, for the Dragons as they were going for the block. Here's the punt, and a good one. Let's see how far it goes. It stops before the end zone, and a great punt for Chuck Ferris.
Oh, the worst break that could ever happen to Lake Orion just did. He went after the punter, didn't get him. The ball ends up on, what, the 2-yard line?
I'll tell you, you couldn't draw that any better.
Oh, it was a perfect punt.
The ball's inside the 5-yard line at about where you would go for an extra point, so it's about the 3-yard line.
Well, they got a long way to go for the tying score. They've got 2 minutes and 47 seconds left. They've got time, but they've got to put the ball up.
Yeah.
DeLaSalle knows they're going to put the ball up.
Anything can happen. Bob mentioned that before the end of the first half, and we're not going to count them out here because we counted, or I should say I kind of counted out DeLaSalle right before the half.
Slip of the tongue.
Slip of the tongue. Here's a big run. The fullback, James Fry, comes through again as he got him out of bad field position last time they were down there. This time does the same.
Keep in mind they've used 2 timeouts already, so therefore they're going to have to get these plays off quick. The only way to stop the clock now is having the first down markers.
Well, or something like this, which is an injury, but the injury is to one of the Pilots players. So actually, this really helps out.
This is a real injury, is what you're telling me.
It's a real injury.
Okay.
It's not one of those fake ones that you see at the end of games to stop the clock. This is a real one, because this is what DeLaSalle did not want to do, is stop the clock. The Dragon Band almost through playing. We still hear some of the drums banging away, but they are through for the night.
I don't know about that. They may put a show on after the game.
You think so? Is that what they're going to do?
There's a good possibility. That'd be in the first home game, yeah.
Thank you, Bob. I was looking at the monitor, wasn't looking down on the field. They're lining up down there.
Absolutely.
There we see Mike Berry. Got to be a frustrating night for him as he was up 7-6, was up 7-0, and with no time left on the clock, DeLaSalle came up with a big touchdown.
Field position has played an important part this whole game. DeLaSalle has had the field position. It was just a matter of time whether or not they were going to take advantage of it. The one time they did was when they broke the 51-yard run. Not really taking advantage of the field position, but taking advantage of the score.
There you see Matt Waldis going off. He has played such a key part in this game for the Pilots. He goes out.
Looks like he's okay. He'll probably come back in later on.
Waldis, a split end and a defensive back. Good size, good speed. Heads out. 1st and 10 now for the Dragons. Robertson back to pass. Has time. Sets up the screen. And White is out there. White breaks the first tackle and breaks another one over the 20. Close to a first down. Not enough, though. I think he's shy by about 3 or 4 yards.
Big number 76, Tom Hubbard, 6'3", 235, just blasted one of the players at the end. I don't know if you'll be able to see it here. This is a good call. When you have the rushers coming in at you this hard, you know they're going to go by you, and you got to throw the screen past them. And this is what they do. They take advantage of the call. They throw the little screen. It makes a nice cut right here. Gets by the tackler, breaks through a nice tackle there, and gets an extra 15 yards.
Back to the action now, throwing a screen to the other side, and the whistles go off. Intended again for White, but going to the wide side of the field, and it'll bring up a third down. They had an excellent chance to pick up the first down, and they go for the screen again. I don't know about that, Bob.
Well, it was a good call because they had 4 guys out there. It was a bad pass. See, when you have the rush that DeLaSalle is putting on, that's the only thing they can do to take away from the rush. If they throw enough screens at them, the defensive linemen are going to come back and maybe look a little bit for the screen, and that'll give them extra time maybe on a long pass. So they're probably setting that up.
So Bob says that was a good call. Let's see if it was, and it was, as they pick up the first down.
Now keep in mind, though, the clock's going to stop here. Why they move the stakes. That'll give them an extra second or two to set up, and now they don't know what to throw at them. They don't know whether they're going to throw the screen or the long pass.
There you see the faithful here at Lake Orion cheering on the Dragons, and looks like they're going to cheer on Michigan State, too, coming up.
They're starting tomorrow.
Those Spartans, yeah.
Playing CMU, 24-point favorites, I believe.
They better be. Here we go, 1st and 10 now, ball on the 25-yard line. So the Dragons still alive with 1:40 left.
Look at the difference in the defense, only 3 men up front now.
Yep. Fumble, and that's gonna hurt. Picked up by Fry, and he's sacked for a loss.
Little change up of defense by DeLaSalle that time. They weren't sending anybody, they were playing deep because they know the time's running out, 1:24 and counting, and maybe threw him off enough to drop the ball. Yep, he pulls out a little too quick. And you're lucky that Fry picked the ball up.
And Fry goes down. Back to the action now. Robertson complete. Looks like Mikan down there.
3rd down and long.
Excuse me, Mikan. I'm saying Mikan. It's actually Mikan.
A guy named George Mikan used to be a pretty good
George
basketball
Mikan, that's
player.
who I was thinking of, and it's Mikan. Excuse me, Chad. Back to pass and scrambling now. Complete? No, incomplete. Bobbling it was Fry, and he had heard the pitter-patter of footsteps behind him.
They threw the ball a little behind him.
Yeah.
It was a tough catch as he tried to make it one-handed. And here you're going to take a look at number 80 who's coming in on a rush. He's just going to stand there and wait for him. Let him make the decision. Let the quarterback make the decision. And then he goes after him. When he throws the ball here, you can see he just throws just a little bit behind him. He tries to make the catch and fumbles it right out of his hands. This is for all the marbles now. 4th and 13.
4th and 13. A big play right here could keep the Dragons alive with 43 seconds left. Robertson, complete. And that'll do it. The Pilots will come out offensively to really just to sit on the ball.
Nice, another screenplay. They're really looking at that rush real hard. It looks like he ran into his own guy that time, which would stop him. It looks like he didn't have much room anyways. Yeah, kind of ran into his own blockers, kind of got in his way. 35 seconds left in this ball game. All DeLaSalle's got to do is run the ball up the middle.
So DeLaSalle will get it inside the 30-yard line at about the 27. And just to run it out.
They have time for one play. They'll probably kneel on the ball. Big victory for DeLaSalle.
Yeah, it gets them to 2-0 on the season. The Dragons fall to 0-2. And time to take a look and see.
Oh, there's no call for that. Come on, boys.
Time to look and see what Mike Berry can salvage here. A lot of season left for the Dragons as they fall to 0-2. And knowing Mike Berry, he'll come up with a pretty good season as we look at the overall records at the end of the year.
Well, they didn't play that bad. It was just a matter of field position for DeLaSalle. It really hurt Lake Orion quite a bit. and not capitalizing on those fumbles that they were able to take advantage of.
A good tough battle here at Lake Orion High School as the Dragons fall to the DeLaSalle Pilots with the final score 14-7. We'll be back to wrap things up here at Lake Orion High School after these messages. Stay with us.
Introducing cable TV's newest network, Encore. Encore brings back the hit movies of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The best movies, 24 hours a day, and just as you remember them, uncut, full length, and completely without commercial interruption. Encore, a different movie every night in prime time. Encore, the greatest movies from the past 30 years. Encore, coming soon from United Artists Cable.
The final score here at Lake Orion High School, DeLaSalle 14 and Lake Orion 7. Let's take a look at some of the final stats here for you, as it was pretty much a defensive battle all the way through. And wow, you can see the total offense really coming through at the end here. Pretty balanced attack, though, for DeLaSalle.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job of mixing up, particularly in the second half. Of course, their field position made a big difference, too. They basically had the ball around the 40 or 50-yard line all the way through the second half. It makes a big difference in the plays that you can run. And again, what you can see here is the turnovers hurt them.
Yeah.
3 turnovers in key critical positions.
And then Lake Orion, 1 turnover. But they really lucked out, and when DeLaSalle fumbled those 3 times, they were in the position to put some points on the board. First downs, 8 to 9, and you can see the time of possession. Lake Orion with 27 minutes off the clock.
Well, they kept the ball on the ground most of the time. When they did throw the ball, they threw screens and kept the ball on bounds, so that'll show up right in that particular situation.
So the time of possession for Lake Orion, a positive factor. Mike Berry has to take a look at some of the things offensively and defensively, what he wants to do next week. DeLaSalle, the individual leaders, really no surprise in these categories. Teodecki 7 of 13 for 151. Cunningham with 17 carries for 116 yards, another 100-yard game for him. And Waldis with 3 receptions for 37 yards. Pretty good average.
Well, Cunningham showed some speed on the 51-yard run, and that's where he got a bulk of his yards.
And on the touchdown.
On the touchdown. And the rest of them were pretty hard fought.
For the other side, the Dragons, pretty much rushing attack for them, and it was. White and Fry, the 2 fullback and the tailback for the Dragons. 23 carries, 74 yards for White. Fry, 13 carries, 58 yards. Those were the leaders for the Dragons. Next week, don't forget to tune in. It'll be Kimball against Southfield as we travel to Southfield to take on the Blue Jays. The Kimball Knights, that's Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. next week on the Game of the Week. For all of us here at United Artists Cable Sports, got it right. The final score, DeLaSalle 14, Lake Orion Dragons 7. This is Dave Zorin, and for all of us, have a good week, and we'll see you next week from Southfield. Thanks for watching.